This is GlobalCASTresources.com.
Hi, my name is Aaryn. I'm a missionary with Youth with a Mission. I'm from the United States, but I live and work with teenagers in Nicaragua. My vision is to see Nicaraguans raised up from Nicaragua and go forth into the nations. I have a very big heart for Northern Africa and working with Muslims, and I want to see young people from Nicaragua raised up and launched into missions in Northern Africa. That's a really big vision, and we all know as mobilizers we have these huge visions that we want to see. And what I want to talk about is a process that we're using that brings it to something, how can we even see that happen? I work with teenagers specifically because I see them as the next generation. Many of us are working in nations. For me specifically, my nation, 50% are under the age of 18. So we have a very big opportunity here. What's going to be happening in 10 years is determined by that younger generation. So we really need to focus on them. And many times we're not sure in these great schemes how to break it down. What we're using is we have long-term missions training within YWAM, but what we're doing is breaking that down into very short, accessible trainings for teenagers. We do what we would normally do with a missions training, maybe let's say in 5 months or a year. We break it down into a 2-week process that we do with our teenagers. So it's a short-term, in-time training where we're able to impart to them basic concepts that we teach in a much larger scale in our full-term missions training, and also mobilize them into activation of those things. So actually taking that out and being evangelizing in their local community or sharing in their local community, all the things that they've learned, putting it directly into practice. The reason why this is so important is, one, we want to give people a concept of something that they can actually start envisioning what we're talking about on a greater scale. We know as visionaries, sometimes we're dreaming things so big, it's so hard for people to get an idea of what we're even talking about. When we break that down into a short-term training, it's something they start to get, it's like the appetizer. They start to get the little appetizer and go, ooh, I like the way that tastes, I want more of that. And so with our short-term missions training, directly focused on teenagers, which is our next generation, we're seeing more young people launched into our long-term training, which is the goal because we want to see them from the long-term training launched into the nations. The other thing that this serves as is we also are not working within a bubble. We have the local church and the family as part as well. And especially I work within a Latin culture where the family and the church has a very big influence on what a young person is going to do. We can't just we have to go after the young person. We also have to see the church's concept change and also the family, because they have to be willing to release those people for us to even see more missionaries in the field. So with the short-term training, what we're doing is not competing with the local church and saying, give us your people. We're saying, hey, come get trained. We'll send your people back to you, more equipped to be an influence within your local church, more equipped to be a functioning, loving member of their family, because when we encounter Jesus, that changes the way we interact with our family. It changes the way we interact with our local church. And that gives the family and the church the capacity to begin to see the value of training, the value of what we're trying to impart as a mission into the generation, because they start to see it in smaller pieces. And that heart opens up to begin to start releasing into more long-term training. And so we've seen short-term training as a major key in building that bridge between what the local church is doing into what we want to see as a mission, which is taking the local church and empowering them to be launched into an active role in global missions and in the global vision that God has for the world, and seeing them go, yes, keep being an impact in your local community, but also God has this great plan, and here's some pieces, and start to kind of lead that breadcrumb trail that leads them to the greater and the greater and the greater.
Mentoring missions advocates. This is GlobalCASTresources.com.